Hi, let's make a zipper bag. This is Lisa Smith, the Kindred Stitcher. I have had several people ask me if I could show how I make the project bags that I've shown you on my previous videos. So I thought I'd take a minute and show you the tutorial. It comes from averyclaire.org, and we're just going to follow how to make this. I'm not going to show you the actual sewing, but I'm going to show you how I put it together. So there'll be a series of clips that'll be put together to show you how I execute this particular tutorial. For your project bag, and this is a side zipper project bag, you will need a half yard of your main fabric that you want the outside to be, and you'll need a half yard of your liner fabric. I like fabrics that complement each other, and sometimes it's fun to have like a lot of contrast. In the one I'm going to show you today, the fabric I chose is a pumpkin fabric, and it's kind of shimmery. You can see the sparkle on it. The inside liner fabric is black polka dot. I love polka dot fabric. So when you get your fabric, you're going to want to iron it, and then you'll cut 16-inch wide by 14.5-inch panel of one of your liner and one of your main fabric. And then you'll also cut a second piece that is 16-inch wide and 11.5 inches high of both your outside fabric and your liner fabric. Then you'll cut matching pieces for your two outside, your 11.5 by 16 and your 14.5 by 16. You're going to cut that out of your interfacing, and then you're simply going to iron your interfacing to the back. So follow the directions on your interfacing. The one that I used, I think it was P11F. Oh, I don't have it with me. I'll see if I can pick it up in a minute. But it's Pellon on the bolt that you can get at Joann's or pretty much any fabric store. I believe it's P1 or 911F. And it's a mid-weight fabric. I like that, or mid-weight interfacing. I like that better for the project bags. It gives a little more tooth, a little bit more hold. So when you're done, you'll have two pieces that have the interfacing on the back. You'll also need a 16-inch zipper. It can be longer than 16-inch. So I picked a coordinating zipper, one that I want to match my outside fabric. You can buy one that's contrast also. I have some examples I can show you of what they look like. I had never put a zipper in anything before I started this tutorial, so you can do it. It's really not that hard. Just follow the tutorial from Avery Claire. As long as it's 16 inches, you can cut it down. You just can't make it longer if it's shorter. All right, so I'm going to show you the first step, and that is I'm going to join the two large pieces, the outside 16 by 14.5 and the 16 by 14.5 liner to the zipper. And this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to open the zipper a little bit, and before I join them, I'm going to sew a little bit of my outside material. You just need like a 2 by 2 inch square. I'm going to sew it to the end of the zipper on this end, and I've opened it. And then I'm going to go to the other end, and I'm going to cut off what I don't need, and I'm going to sew a little bit of that fabric to that end as well. And what that does is it creates a more finished look on the edge of your bag. So you can do without it. There are people who are successful at it. This is in the tutorial itself, and I've done it every time just because I think it gives it a cleaner look. So I'm going to go ahead and join. I'm going to sew the ends of the scraps to this zipper, and then I'll show you what it looks like. So hold on. Okay, let me just show you real quick something. I did cut the end of the zipper off down to about where the two little metal tabs are here. Then I sewed about 1/2 inch. And what I'm going to do, you have to make sure that the the zipper tab faces the right side of your material. Then I just fold this over, finger press it, and then I'm gonna cut this. So I'm just gonna trim this. So you really don't need a very big piece of scrap fabric. I'm just gonna trim this just like this. So you can see how this has a little bit of basically a little tab here that covers the end. And when I zip it, it goes right up to the edge. When we put the bag together, this will help make a nice little clean edge here. So I'm gonna do the same thing to the other side. Hold on. So before I actually cut the other end and sew the tab on, I want to show you that I've measured by putting one end of the zipper over here and the other to this end, and I'm going to cut the zipper off right where my finger is. Then I'm going to sew the tab on that end. So this will be the right sides together when I sew it. And yeah, so there it is. I'll do that. I'll be right back. Okay, so I have the zipper ends done. And just finger pressed open and trimmed. You can see what it looks like there and here. And so what we're going to do next is we're going to lay the zipper along the top of our outside fabric that has the interfacing adhered to it. Then we're going to take the same size lining fabric, we're going to lay that on top, and I'm going to pin all along here, and this is where I'm going to sew. And I'm going to sew up to the edge of the zipper, the inside of the zipper, and as I make that seam, as I'm sewing along, at some point in my seam before I get to my zipper pull, I'm going to need to pull my zipper pull past where I've already sewn. Then I'm going to continue and sew all the way down. So I'll take that, do that, I'll be right back. All right, so I've joined these two pieces together now, and you'll see this is what it looks like. Here's the inside of the bag. There's the outside of the bag. And what I'm going to do next is I'm just going to top stitch. So I'm going to run a stitch along the top here, and that'll help this lay down more flatly. Then I'm going to repeat the other side of this, doing the same thing as I just did by putting the other half of my top fabric, laying against the right side of my zipper here. Once I've done my top stitching on the other side, I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to put the right side of my liner on the other side of the zipper, and then I'm going to sew that together. And then I'm going to top stitch it, and I'll show you what it looks like in just a minute. Okay, so we've got the zipper put in now, and this is not perfect, let me tell you, but that's okay because it's a project bag. It's not, you're not wearing it as a wedding dress. But the zipper is in, the top stitching is done on the front and on the back. So here is where the magic happens. What you're going to do is you're going to take one of your outside pieces and put the ends together of the other outside piece, and I want you to just put a pin in each corner. Okay, so you're just going to pin this like this. Oh, that interfacing is tough. Okay, and then we're going to just kind of press this together. So you see how this creates, because one is longer than the other, it creates a little bit of a fold. Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing with the liners. We're going to put the corners together of the liners. And we're just going to put a pin in the corner. All right, And then I put the two edges together, and I'm not going to pin anything, but I just want you to do a little bit of a finger press at the top. And it creates this fold like this. And what we're going to do next is I'm going to put a pin right in where the bottom top stitch line of the zipper is. So if it's the fold, there's the fold, the zipper, top of the zipper and the bottom of the zipper. I'm just going to put a little pin in there. And I'm going to mark it on both sides. Okay. Because what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take this to my machine and I'm going to sew along the top, the fold is, down to this pin. And I'm going to sew a 1/4 inch on both sides. And then when I'm done with that, I'm only going to sew there, and I do back stitch on both ends to secure it. Then I'm going to take this pin out and I'm going to pull this open and I'm going to sew along the edge of the two outside pieces all the way around up to this other pin. When I'm done with that, I'm going to take my liner side, and remember there's going to be a seam right here. It goes from here to here. Then I'm going to open this up and I'm going to sew around and about halfway down the middle of the long side. I'm going to back stitch. I'm going to leave an opening of probably, you know, at least your hand width, because this is where you're going to reach in and you're going to open it up and pull it through. Then I'm going to stitch all the way around here, back up to this pin right here. When you do this, your zipper must be open. If it's not open, you're not going to have a way to turn your bag inside out. So this is where you want to check and make sure, where's my zipper? Oh, it's at the edge. I want to make sure that I open that up so that I can pull it through when the magic is about ready to happen. Okay, so I'm going to do some sewing and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got all the seams sewn on here, and I did clip the corners of the, I didn't clip the corners at the very top, but I clipped the corners on the bottom of the liner and on the outside. And we have an opening here where we're just going to reach in. I probably could have made this a little bit bigger opening, but that's okay. I opened my zipper so I can go in there and grab it. I'm grabbing this part, the outside layer of the project bag. I'm going to pull it through and I'm just going to work it out. Okay, so this is like, I don't know, giving birth to a project bag, I guess. All right, here it comes. This is going to be fabulous. I did have an issue when I was sewing. I'll just tell you that I broke a couple needles because I hit those little teeth on the zipper bag, on the zipper itself. And so be careful when you attach the zipper to the bag that you don't run into those little metal brads at the end. Okay, so here's the bottom, here's the top corner. I'm gonna push that in, push this in also. And you just kind of have to keep working this. So I'm going to open that up all the way. And I have a little, I don't know what this is called. You can use a chopstick. I think I got it at a craft store. It's meant for working your corners, kind of working your corners out. You want to get them out as much as you can so you have a nice sharp point. You can even take like a needle and kind of help, or a pin, and sort of help pull the corner out a little bit more. Careful though, you don't want to distort it. I just kind of finger press as I go, and I am gonna take an iron to it to press it a little bit more once I get this all worked out. Now you can see I'm just kind of working the corners. Take my pen and kind of pull that out a little bit more. Okay, along the side here, running my finger along the inside. Oops, where's the hole? There we go. Same thing with the top. The top on this side looks pretty good. All right, so next I'm just going to massage this, and you get to work with the inside as well. So getting everything in the corners, laying it flat, and then what I'm going to do before I'm done is this opening here, I'm just going to whip stitch that closed. That little opening where I pulled it through. I'm going to flatten it. I'm going to press a little bit around the edges. I use a press cloth for materials that have like glitter or that aren't cotton, just to protect my iron. Then I'll put the little pull on it and we'll be done. So I'll be right back. Okay, so thanks for hanging in there with me. We have a finish. And this is like so sparkly and beautiful. I put, so remember this is our inside, the polka dot. And to finish it, I didn't really quite have a pull that I wanted, and I looked around. I think this time of year it's harder to find pumpkin stuff, or maybe I was just looking in the wrong spot. But I had another one of these where I used in another project bag, and pumpkins have usually some green around them, so I kind of like it. It picks up some of the orange and a little bit of the green, quite a bit of the green. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and execution of the tutorial by Avery Claire. So I'm going to give this bag away. If you would like this bag, I will give it away in a week. So today is the 15th, I believe. So let's leave it open for a week and save this 22nd. So by 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, if you would like this bag, just make a comment that you'd like the bag and you'll be entered in. Don't say giveaway, freebie, anything like that. And we'll just do a random drawing. So if you, if you have any questions, you can always reach me through Instagram. I'm also Kindred Stitch on Instagram, YouTube, although I'm not very good with figuring out the messaging in YouTube. And I hope this was helpful. I'll talk with you all later. Thanks.